Trip, and you've been doing the 2 hours a week, that kind of stuff, but just to be in kind of a regular fall practice, the actual season practices here, how excited are you?
Yeah, it's a great time of year, exciting time of year, and it's another step for our team, and all of a sudden you just becomes a lot more real that it's getting close to time to playing games. And, so it's a great time for our guys. We look forward to it, and it's not like the old days where you have no contact with them, and then Midnight Madness at October 15th. It's it's become such a year-round thing that in that way it's a little anticlimactic for us, but for the kids it's a great day, and it marks the start of the new year.
About 4 weeks, I think, till the first 28th, I guess, right, is the first exhibition game. How do you kind of manage and handle the next 4 weeks?
Well, with these guys, with these guys, we've got a lot of things that remain unanswered. I mean, we got some help with that trip that really helped answer some questions, but we've got a lot of questions to answer, about playing time, about roles, about, who can fill what position, and who has what strengths. And so we got a lot to put together, but I told this team the other day, it's going to be a fun team to watch, and it's going to be a fun team to watch them grow, and watch some of these young guys develop. And so in that aspect, I'm really, really excited to see these guys play.
You got some new coaches on staff, some guys stepping up into new roles player-wise. Does this just feel a lot different than last year's team?
Oh, absolutely, it does. It feels like I started the program over again, like we did 6-7 years ago. And so that, for me, that kind of re-energizes you. It gets you excited, and to have this many good young guys that we're excited about, that makes for a bright future. But it also makes for there's a lot of work to be done, and we all know that. And the players have had an unbelievable approach, and in the fact that I say that they're going to be a fun team to watch, they're just a great team to coach too. So that gives me a lot to look forward to. And every day at practice, you walk in the gym, I'm excited to see them, and they're excited to be together. That's a great place to start.
I know you look at some of those preseason magazines, and you picked anywhere from 8th to even a little bit lower. Does this team feel like it has a chip on its shoulders? The underdog role, maybe a good thing?
I think that stems from there's just so many unanswered questions. So there's some years where I go, okay, I know exactly probably where we'll be or close to it, and you don't deviate from that very much. And this year as a team, I have no idea. I mean, I do have some idea of what their talent level is. I know we don't have very much experience. I know we've got a lot of unanswered questions, and so with that, you don't really know where you'll end up and where or how it'll turn out. And so for me, that's exciting. It'll be fun.
A couple of on-the-court things. What are you most excited about?
Well, I think the thing that gets me really fired up to watch this team play is the way they care about each other, the way they move the ball. I think this might be one of the best teams we'll have, or that we've ever had. We've had some good teams that can move the ball pretty well, and they've been fun to watch. I think this is going to be a really, really fun team to watch. And, there's always the dynamic of watching kids grow up, watching some of these freshmen when they're freshmen, and, get to see where they end up as, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and even some of the ones that have, the Chandlers, Paris, and Zach, and guys like that. We'll see them grow up a little bit from last year. So those things are fun to watch as a coach and as a fan.
Specifically for Paris, what have you seen from him in this offseason?
Well, he's made a jump, and we've got a long ways to go with him to make him, the point guard that we need him to be. And you're asking a lot for a guy to be a point guard. And as a sophomore, he's got to really step up his game and his leadership and how to make guys better. And because he can go get baskets, and he's proven that at a high level. Now he has to keep getting better at that, but yet he's got to be able to stop and make plays for everybody else and make everybody better.
When you talk about needing Paris to go to the next step, and Chandler and Zach, and nervous at all that you are kind of counting on 3, 4, 5 guys that kind of have their best years this year?
Well, as a coach, if you're not nervous, you're nervous that you're not nervous. So you're going to find something to be nervous about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you have 8 new guys, there's a lot of good, big question marks. I have faith in our program and our system that we'll get them there. Now, once again, I probably overscheduled that November, for this younger group. And that's where losing so many guys hurts you because you do your schedule a long time in advance. But we got the potential to play Villanova, Oregon, and SMU in a 2-week span with this young of a team, and that's that's saying something. So when you look at that, it makes you nervous. But that's not the focus. The focus is the process, and the focus is trusting these guys to get better, and that's what we're about.
You mentioned Paris. Who is another name or two of guys that you really do expect to take that next step that you're excited about, that fans are really going to notice a difference?
Well, like I said, Zach and Chandler, we're expecting big things from them. James Reed gives us some experience, a transfer from Arkansas Little Rock, a guy that we've known. So those guys are pretty important to us.
In terms of the coaching staff changes, how has that transition been?
That's always difficult, but I think I hit home runs, and with all these young guys, I wanted to go hire guys that were, their number one thing is player development, and I think I hit home runs, absolute home runs in those departments, and that's going to bode well for the future of this program with what we have, as far as young guys, and then the staff that's committed to developing them. Because I always say we're a development program, we're not a recruiting program. We have to get guys that want to get better, and we take them and work with them. And you've seen that in the development of a guy like Derek Marks and James Webb. And when James Webb got here, nobody knew who he was, and he was far from being a basketball player. And I think credit my staff did a great job of getting him to the level of where he is, and now we got to do that again with a lot of these good young guys.
What did you look for in the assistants that you hired? Was there a specific?
Absolutely, and like I said, but with the thing that transcended everything, and was that I wanted, like I said, I wanted guys that have expertise in development. And then I need an offensive guy, I need a defensive guy, I need guys with different strengths, and then guys that weren't maybe exactly like me. I wanted guys that were different in a lot of ways, because that's what's made my staff good in the previous years, and I think that's what I got here, and I think that's one of the best things that we've had in this program is terrific assistants, and in the show they all go out and get head coaching jobs, and that's great. But it makes it tough that we have to start over again, but it also re-energizes things and gives you a new energy and a new excitement around the program, so it's going to be fun.
You mentioned a lot of question marks. What's your number one concern as you stand here on October 3rd right now with this team, or biggest question you have?
One of the is, you look back at the Mountain West Championship team and you go, well, at the end of the game, I think if I said who's taking the last shot, you guys all know probably who it is, and that's always a question when you have a young team and you have a team like this, is who's the guy that's going to go take the last shot right now. And probably the next month we got a lot of things to figure out and how we do that, because you look at our last 6 years, we played a lot of close games, and so to be able to win those close games, you got to have a guy that can go get a shot and go get a bucket for you and go make his free throws and do that. And we had one of the best in the country in Derek, and that's why we won the league. You look at those 14 out of 15 game winning streak that we had. Derek was making big plays down the stretch, and so that was huge.
Hard to believe Nick's senior year. How much are you gonna lean on him for leadership?
Yeah.
Both on the court and off the court.
Sure, and then that Nick might be that guy that we're looking for that can go make the big shot at the end of the game. He's a great leader. He's got the best attitude he's ever had. He's hungry to have a great senior year, and I've got 2 seniors that I'm gonna. It's already to the point where you're going, boy, I'm going to miss those guys. And even though I've only had James for a year prior to this, but they're just awesome guys. They're both, great students, great citizens, terrific leaders. And so, I'm just hoping they have the kind of senior year that they deserve to have.
How much further ahead are you guys right now after that trip and stuff than you?
Well, it's hard to put a tangible number on it, but I do know this: we are. Our freshmen don't look like freshmen. Now, they don't look like sophomores, but they don't look like guys that this is their first practice. They look like guys that have been in a college program a little bit, and they're getting stronger. Coach Herman's done a great job in the weight room with them. They're a little more comfortable with what we're doing terminology-wise. They can hit the ground running a little bit more than maybe a true freshman would. So in that aspect, I think it's been huge to have that. That benefit of having them around as much as we got them.
You brought up that tough schedule. Do you worry at all, maybe with a young team, that if you guys lose those games, that morale kind of goes down?
Well, you just got to guard against that, knowing that this is a team that hopefully we'll just keep getting better and better as we go. And as those guys grow up, we'll get better as a team. And as those 8 get more comfortable in what we're doing and gel together, we'll get better. And so you don't know what to expect, but that's what that's the one thing that I would think that this team could look for.
Any injuries or guys banged up or anything heading into this?
Marcus has they're looking in to see if he has a hernia, which we don't know if it's going to require surgery, but those are usually pretty quick. But still, you only got 13 guys now. All of a sudden, if you lose 1 or 2 more, now you're getting to the point where you can't go much 5-on-5 at practice, and that gets a little precarious.
Is Nick okay?
Yeah, Nick's just been limited a little bit by Achilles tendonitis, but he's at full today.
Thank you.